Hey everybody, today's video is entitled, Are you getting ready to pull or are you getting ready to expand? You see, the intention that most players have that seems to be almost like kind of hidden in plain sight for them is that they see the golf swing as getting ready to pull on the golf club or getting ready to do something to the golf club. Whereas an elite ball striker or the most efficient golf swings that we see, they're already getting in a mindset of being ready to get their body to expand and actually do a reaching movement, which actually creates the look and the efficiency of an elite golf motion. All right, let's get started. Most golfers unknowingly see their golf swing as a two-dimensional kind of experience. Because we see videos, even though we understand that there's a 360-degree kind of reality or three-dimensional reality to our existence, we tend to see and think in two dimensions. We see things on flat screens, and we see images that are rendered in basically two dimensions. So it's very easy for us to start to perceive kind of a golf swing in two dimensions, even though very realistically we do understand that it's moving around us and much more than it's moving side to side. So what happens for most people is that they start to see the golf swing in two dimensions and they see what appears to them to be a shift and a pull or a hold and then kind of a release. And those are terms that are kind of kicked around. I got a bump to the left, I want to kind of hold the golf club or pull it downwards, and then I need to let it release and all that stuff. The reality is a golf swing may look like that in two dimensions when we video it, but it actually doesn't function that way. So if you have that image in your mind, then I would say that you're getting ready to pull on the golf club. How do I know that I'm a puller of the golf club? Well, it's very easy. You get what I call locked up. A player that intends to pull the golf club, as they go back, they will feel restrictions start to jump in their body. They might squat a little bit, or they might feel like they're lifting really hard. Anything they're trying to do, they're trying to create getting ready to pull on the golf club. They're trying to get their body in a position where they can really create a force against the golf club. The problem is anytime you pull on the golf club, it puts a force back in your body and it throws you off balance. So it doesn't enable you to do the natural movement that we're going to define as expanding. So if you are a player that feels a lot of tension, like you're building some energy and some restriction in your body as you're going up, you're probably doing yourself a disservice. Even though it may look like that, and even though you see some coaches will have that idea as maybe their preference, the reality in the body is that it's much different, okay? So now let's talk about the idea of expanding, okay? Expanding is the most natural thing that we do on earth. Anytime you reach out to touch something, if you've done it several times and it's not your first attempt, your body will naturally make a curving, reaching movement, and it will always counter it with the rest of the body. So as I'm reaching out and touching my impact pad for the pro, notice that my body opens up. If I do it from this angle, notice that as I'm reaching towards the ground and toward the camera, the backside of my body is going the other way. Which one's going first? Neither. They're going at the same time. If I want to go faster, I let it go faster. You see, there's a shockwave of energy that is available to us from the acceleration of gravity that our body knows how to use to create speed. We don't create speed by force. We feel forces as we interact with the ground in our motion, but let's not confuse them as the idea that they are the generators of motion. You don't start walking by lifting your leg. You start by a natural expansion of your body and almost falling into the motion. So that's exactly what we want to do with a golf swing, is we want to have the idea that it's an expansion. So if you know that you're getting ready to expand, you have a very different impression. And this sets the rhythm and the transition that is very unique to the best players, and the things that we see as lag or misinterpret as holding angles, they're actually allowances. So a player that's getting ready to expand, we tend to see them do what I call unlocking. So the experience is as the club kind of gets to its peaking place and we're getting ready to change directions, there becomes a relaxation in the joints. All the joints become more fluid because if the joints are fluid, the muscles aren't loaded, and if the muscles aren't loaded, that perfect shockwave of energy can now drive the golf swing. So I'm no longer trying to pull the golf club to the actual golf ball. I'm actually trying to expand it. So if my intention, like this is an exercise I do in a lot of my lessons, is hold the club like a hockey stick. If my intention is just to reach efficiently, well, nobody reaches like this. They just go back and they just let it unfold naturally. The body moves out of the way naturally. The more you do it, the more intuitive it gets. It gets easier. And if you want speed, you don't have to try hard. You just have to let it happen more. So when we see a golf swing, we need to understand we're getting ready to expand. To expand, you must take the tension out of your body and you must allow it to free fall a bit. So I want to see a player always understand expansion is the transition. If I'm getting ready to expand, then I know I can release and let the golf club fly out. But if I'm getting ready to pull, I'll start leaning ahead and then trying to get ahead of all the force that I'm going to be trying to apply to the shaft to make it go to the target. So the best way to really understand that is to alleviate the shaft. The shaft causes a lot of the issues, and when we have the shaft in our hands and we can feel the center mass of the golf club, we can feel its weight. It sends that signal to the body to try to pull on it. It reinforces the misconception. So one must need to learn how to bypass the center of mass of the golf club to learn expansion. So if you can see my golf motion here, it's 360 degrees of expansion. It looks like I'm just swinging it on a plane. But what's happening is it's wrapping around me, and I'm intending to let it expand in the direction I want to do that. That creates a reaching spiral motion, and if I can keep my pro in a straight line while I do that, well, there it goes. All my body parts are moving the way that we want to see an elite golf motion move. We can see the pelvis moves down and out of the way and back. We can see that the upper body has a natural separation to it, and that everything in the body has gotten into a spot where I'm ready to expand. So in conclusion, if you can see the golf swing as an expansion and not a pull, and you can understand symptomatically, a player that's ready to expand will feel freedom in transition and a patience, whereas a person ready to pull will feel like tension building up, getting ready to try to exact a force on it. If you understand that difference, that can open up the window to really developing your elite golf motion.